Okay, so I'm Thomas Theophilus Kushikutin, and we come to present a traffic lights model and a smart road system using the Arduino Wokwi online simulator. All right, so let's dive into it. So as you can see, this is our setup. The code is here, and the simulator itself is here. The hardware setup is here. So let's start the simulation. So as you can see, we have a normal traffic lights with red for 5 seconds, green for 5 seconds, and yellow for 2 seconds, right? So now what can we also do? We can detect vehicles. And when we detect the vehicle, the time for green extends. So I have to wait for green to come back. Okay. So green has been on for how many seconds? I've pressed it and it has been extended, right? So as you can see, when it detects vehicles, it is smart enough to extend the time for the green light. Okay, so what else can we do? We have a street light, right? This is a street light. So if I want to reduce the darkness, this is a simulator. So if I want to reduce the darkness, I have it like this. I mean, if I want to in yeah, if I want to reduce the darkness, if I want to increase the darkness, right? It has to be dark for the street light to be on. So you can see the difference, right? So right now street light is on. Now what else can we do? We have an emergency button. So emergency button has sound attached to it, right? So now let's look at something, right? Stopping the simulation. Now we are going to try and see how the emergency works when it detects a fault. So let's just put sound. Let's change the current state. Let's try it. So right now, as you can see, when it detects a fault, right, the emergency triggers. Okay, so now that we are done with the emergency, let's move on to three scenarios for the first scenario. So for the first scenario, we are going to see how the vehicle detection works when the street light is on. Alright. So we want to show that the vehicle detection works when the street light is on. So sorry, let me change it back to yes. Alright, so it's on already. Now let's try the vehicle detection. Okay, so it works when the street light is on. So now the second scenario is to check whether the vehicle detection stops when the emergency button has been turned on. So let's try that one. Okay, so as you can see, it skipped yellow and went back to red because the emergency came on. You understand? So that means it works regardless. So let's wait for it to be green again, and you observe that again. So right now I've extended it, right? It has gone back to red. So that scenario also stands. Now let's look at the last scenario. For the last scenario, we are going to turn the street lights on and off and observe still whether the traffic light cycle still operates normally. So um okay, so now you can see our traffic lights and our street lights. As you can see, it's still operating normally. Alright, so we are done with our three scenarios. Now let's look at our code briefly. We can stop this. Let's look at our code briefly. I want to explain a few things. Okay, so the code, you look at three things, right? So we have the state machine. So the state machine is basically the traffic light, right? So we have red, green, and yellow. So that's like the order in which the lights appear, right? So you see more of that in the loop function. Where is it? The loop function where we have all the processes, right? And for this loop to run smoothly, we have what you call a millis function, right? So instead of the delay function that freezes everything, we have a millis function that um, makes everything run smoothly, right? So that's basically what the millis function does. It's an improvement on the delay function. And for the last one, we have the LDR threshold. Where the LDR threshold? Yes. So this is the LDR threshold. In when the LDR value is below the LDR threshold, that is 500. It indicates darkness and the street lights turns on. And the same for vice versa. When it's above 500, it indicates light and the street light turns off. All right. So so this is all for the demonstration. A very very quick demonstration. I hope you grabbed something from this demonstration and have a nice evening.